Thank you very much, Joe. And I've given about 5 minutes to thank the people. This is certainly a very huge honor and very big day for me, but I don't want to make this about me. I want to make this about me thanking the people who helped get me to where I am, where I'm standing right now, which is a home. So I first and foremost want to thank the employees of Oshins and Associates, my law firm. There's no way that I would possibly even think about receiving an award like this without the help of all the employees of Oshins and Associates. They all deserve a piece of the award that I got. I think Joe took it from me. I don't know if I gave it back, but I hope to be able to return home with it and share it with every single one of our employees because they all do an excellent job there. I also want to thank my parents, Richard and Carol Oshins, for raising me with all the qualities that I needed to be successful in this world. They raised me with integrity. They raised me with a solid work ethic, and they raised me to never quit no matter how bad things get, which is probably the only reason that I was able to graduate from law school after being 700th of a grade point in academic probation after my first year there. I didn't want you to hear the good about me. I wanted to hear the bad about me. And I think this is about hearing everything. And I promise you that I'm never going to tell that story again publicly because it's embarrassing, but I wanted to hear it because I wanted you to see where my passion comes from and why it is that I appreciate all the good things that happen to me in this industry so much more than I would have had I not faced near failure and had faced that kind of adversity before my career even got started. I also want to thank my lovely Michelle Oshins, who's here with me today. She and I first met in college years ago, and we've been together for a little more than a decade now, and we're married here in 2005. And I think a lot of you have met her here today. I think probably half of you have met her at least. What Michelle does for me is very similar to what the employees of Oshins Associates do. They're my teammates at the office. Michelle's my teammate at home, and she's my partner at home. And certainly she takes a lot of the burdens off of my shoulders so I can spend my time doing what I do best, or at least what I think I do best. And whenever I'm just kind of coasting and not giving 110% like I should be, I think about people like Michelle, who being with me doesn't have to work another day of her life, but yet she chooses to be productive. She got her MBA. She puts out this great magazine called Southern Nevada Equestrian. I mean, look at all she does when she doesn't have to lift a finger because she's with me. So if Michelle can do more than she has to do, then why can't I do more than I have to do? I like to keep that in mind when I feel like I'm just posting. I'd like to thank my brother, Dave Oshins, because he supports everything I do. He's a great life insurance agent. It's his second career. He's about 4 years in, and I hope to see that he will join. This is 20 or 30 years from now, but hopefully he will join me and my father receiving this award one day. I'm, putting pressure on him, but watch his career. I'd like to thank the voters in NAEPC. You had a lot of very qualified nominees this year, and you only picked 6 of us. Thank you for making me one of the 6. I really appreciate that, and I will not let you down. And I know that this doesn't mean that I can now post the rest of my career. It means that I now have more of a burden on my shoulders to prove to you that you were right about me and that I really did deserve this award. So thank you to all the voters. I want to thank Gary Proton for nominating me. It was selfless of you to do that. You and I didn't even know each other, and you called me one day and introduced yourself. And when an insurance agent like you, has been that successful policy, I was kind of hoping I was going to get a retainer, get a client out of it. But this is a big second prize, and you and I are good friends, and I think it's great that you took that. And you took the risk and nominated me when you could have nominated all your friends, and I know you've got hundreds of friends in the industry, and you picked me. So thank you for doing that, Gary. It's great to meet you. Thank you to some of my other friends who are in NAEPC, Mike Halloran, right there, and it was a pleasure having you introduce me in my main platform presentation yesterday. You've been a great friend of mine and the rest of the people at my firm for a long time, and You're as good as it gets in the industry, the life insurance industry, and thank you. I assume we're doing a lot of cheerleading when the voters were deciding which people should be inducted. I'd like to thank Bob Alexander. I assume he's in here somewhere. He's an officer with NAEPC, and he's been a very close friend and one of the best estate planning attorneys, in my opinion, in the country. Thank you, Bob. I know you were cheerleading for me as well. I'd like to thank my good friend Bob Goodman, who's on the committee too. I've worked a lot of cases with Bob. He's with a bank. He works a lot out in Las Vegas, and their department has referred me 3 or 4 billionaires over the years. They put a lot of emphasis on calling the clients that I do something right. Bob, thank you for all the cheerleading you must have done. And I want to thank all the sponsors here. You need to all go see the sponsors. We've got sponsors from all the 4 Tier 1 jurisdictions. We've got Trust and Estate, we've got Law Council, we've got all the other sponsors listed here. Appraisers, go see the sponsors. Thank you. They're the ones that make this possible. And then thank you to all the attendees here. You all could have slept in an extra half an hour. I would have if I didn't have to come up here. But thank you for thinking this is important enough for you to make it down here and be here for this award ceremony. Thank you very much.